Usman is coming clean to Kimberly about Zara. Ooh, it's about to get juicy. Hey my beautiful peeps, if you're new here, my name is Char and welcome to Char TV. For my existing subscribers, I appreciate you coming on back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a detailed recap on episode 12 of Before the 90 Days. It's called Head Games. But before I do that, I have a quick shout out and it goes to Babe Ruth. I hope I pronounced your name right, but thank you so much for commenting. I see that you've been watching me for quite some time and this was your first comment and I appreciate you doing so and I hope to see many more from you. Let's get this recap started. I'm going to be kicking it off with Mike and Ximena. After telling Mike that she doesn't love him, Ximena starts to backpedal. I guess she realizes that her ATM machine won't be around. So then she decides to say she loves Mike, but she's not in love with Mike. She's just in love with his wallet. And the reason being is because they haven't lived together for a long time. And for Ximena, love is a very big word. Mike is a little bit confused because Ximena has always told him that she loves him and she's happy to have him in her life.
Sí, pero no te puedo amar. Amar a una persona necesita mucho tiempo de convivencia.
Just a couple months ago, Ximena was so excited to marry me. So when Ximena tells me she doesn't love me and love is too big of a word for the relationship, that makes me feel devastated, even more confused.
Mike said to Ximena that she's changed since his last visit and she says, well, she has a lot of doubts and things, that's all. Mike then said to her, what are your doubts? Let's talk about it. And Ximena said, can we talk about this later because she's sleepy. She just wants to go to bed. Plus, she wants to put the kids to sleep too. Mike said, okay. And they said goodnight. She didn't even look like she wanted to hug him. So, that was that, and they slept in separate rooms.
Hace unos meses me sentí súper enamorada de Mai. Tío, yo estaba súper feliz, pero no sé qué pasó ahora. Entonces, lo quiero, sí, le tengo un aprecio, pero no me siento bien con él, de que hay cosas que me incomodan, que me fastidian. Y no le puedo mentir, simplemente soy sincera con él. Pues no le quiero hacer daño. Entonces, por ahora, creo que necesito pensar bien las cosas.
Mike is not feeling good about this at all and he's left feeling confused. He's wondering what are Ximena's doubts. And right now, he doesn't even feel like being there anymore. The next morning, Mike decides to have a chat with his friend John. Now John, he don't sugarcoat anything. He will tell Mike how it is. Which is what I think Mike needs to hear. He fills John in on the things that happened the night before, and John has a few things to say.
Bro, she needs space. How does somebody who's in a long-distance relationship, like literally another country, need space?
Yeah, no, I'm just very confused. And now I'm sleeping in the kid's bed because
Why are you sleeping on a kid's bed, number one, when you're on a trip to see your future wife?
Well, actually, she wants to postpone the wedding ceremony. She said that she doesn't love me anymore.
John said to Mike, my guy, I would have been gone because he spent time, money, and energy. He did this all even during a pandemic, and the only one that's benefiting from it all is Ximena. So Mike is now seeing that the relationship is kind of one-sided. It's been one-sided, let's be real, because Ximena is not putting in any effort at all. And John says that Ximena is showing her true colors. Well, I think she was showing her true colors way before. But Mike decided to ignore that because he was smitten. Despite everything that is being said, Mike still hopes that they can work things out. He then asks John if his girlfriend could have a conversation with Ximena because John's girlfriend is fluent in Spanish. And by doing that, then he can get the true picture of how Ximena is feeling. He's not gonna miss any details, and that will give him an idea on how to proceed with things. Later that day, they decide to go to a cafe because Mike wanted to be somewhere private, you know, away from the family and the kids. Now, Ximena disagrees with what Mike is doing because she feels that he shouldn't be involving his friends, because a relationship is between two people, so it kind of has nothing to do with them. She doesn't really see how this is going to help with their relationship, but because Mike is insisting, she agreed. Mike then calls Nelsie, who will be doing the translating, and he briefs her a bit on what has taken place.
Yo le digo a él, te quiero, ¿cierto? Pero entonces, yo soy sincera. Para mí amar es una palabra muy grande. Y si no lo siento, ¿cómo lo decir te amo? Necesito tiempo y él no me entiende.
Una cosa que a mí como que me molesta un poco es como que las cosas eran muy diferentes cuando él estaba aquí sin conocerte y tú estabas allá sin conocer esa persona. Cuando tú lo conociste, como que todo cambió.
Ximena goes on to explain it's how he acts and how he is, and he watches her while she sleeps. And now they have to sleep in separate rooms because him doing that just creeps her out because she's not able to sleep. Mike explains that he was just simply admiring her. He wasn't being a creep about things. Nelsie then asked Ximena, you know, what are the things that you like about Mike? Ximena says that she loves him and the time that they spent together. But it was different before when he was there. But now everything has changed because she knows how he is. I mean, he burps and he has 1,000 things that are degenerate. He's slobbish and he's piggish. And she doesn't know how to explain these things so that he can change. But wait a minute now, I thought she was supposed to explain things that she liked about him. She said like about 2 things, and the rest was just all bad things.
She's not even like, you know, just happy to be near you, I don't think. I personally wouldn't want to be with somebody like that. Entonces, una pregunta te quiero hacer. Si tú no quieres estar con él, ¿no te da malo que tú hayas cogido todo el dinero que él te ha dado?
Ximena says that she didn't work and the kids had everything. I guess she was thankful for that. But she can work normally now like she did before. So Nelsie was like, wait a minute. You were working before you met Mike, and then when y'all got together, you stopped working? And Ximena said, yes. And then Nelsie went to confirm that with Mike, and he was like, yeah. So pretty much Mike has been supporting her. And Nelsie said to Mike, well, I hope you've cut that off because she looks disgusted to be around you, and it doesn't seem that she even loves you. And she's not there for the right reasons.
I'm probably gonna see when the next flight out is.
Yeah, I think you should.
Alright, thanks, Nelsie.
Nos vemos, Ximena, entonces te cuida.
Chao, te cuidas.
Bye.
I just want to say I'm gonna give you the space that you want. I just hope we could still talk and just be friends.
Ximena said to Mike, well, are you ending things with me? Well, I think that he probably should. Now, what do you think? That's pretty much all between Mike and Ximena. On to Kim and Usman, aka Soldier Boy. Usman is coming clean to Kimberly about Zara. Ooh, it's about to get juicy. He explains that Zara is a lady that he was with before. So he started talking to Kimberly for a couple weeks, and then he met Zara. But when he was talking to Kimberly, they weren't in a relationship. They were just friends. There wasn't any feelings at all, just pure friendship. Kimberly was like, well, why are you telling me this now? To ruin my day. And Usman said he just wanted to be honest with her.
Is there anything wrong for me telling you the secret?
Yeah,
that you
there's
don't know?
something to tell me. Yeah, I tell you everything. How dare you keep a secret from me? Seriously.
Because then we were not in a relationship.
It doesn't matter. Why didn't you tell me?
No, it does.
And I've been loyal this whole time? Are you kidding me?
That's why I'm telling
Are
you. We
kidding
are not
me?
in a relationship. I need to tell you now because if you know it now.
But you're telling me now, but I've been loyal this whole time. You're making me look like a fool, yo.
Kimberly kindly reminded Usman that he never told her about Zara. He just told her that Zara was, you know, a name that he picked for all women across the globe. But she never knew that he was dating her back then. Usman explained that he was in a relationship with Zara, but then she broke things off with him. And when she did that, he was hurt because he really loved her.
When did you end it with her?
About 4 months now. So like, what are you saying?
Wow, 4 months ago?
That's when I released the
We've been
EP.
talking for a year. That's crazy as hell. Because I thought I was the one that was like repairing his heart, okay?
You
and
did.
his trust. But during this time that I was putting this work in, he's dating a whole nother chick. Oh, the best.
Kimberly said, well, you can have your little Zara, because she's done, and she just walked off to the car. Kimberly said that they were communicating so much, and if she had known about Zara and that the song was for somebody else, she wouldn't have even entertained anything with Usman. She would have been like, boy, bye. Now, Kimberly has been cheated on herself, so she would never dream of pursuing someone that's already in a relationship because she knows what that feels like. Now, she's worried because is Usman going to do the same thing to her that he did to Zara? And she's not going to allow herself to be cheated on again.
Kimbali, this shouldn't be a wrong thing, I think.
It is a wrong thing, Usman. You told me you love me, and now you're going to tell me about some bitch? Get the out of here, yo. I want to go back to the hotel, and then I'm going to make my travel arrangements to go home. So please, let's just go. I don't know why that just hit me so hard. Like, I came down here to watch you do a video about another bitch. Like, that's crazy, yo. That is so crazy.
Kimberly said perhaps they should go their separate ways or something. She left her family and everything that she knows to pursue Usman, to see if she could be in a relationship with him. But now she feels like that was all for nothing because everything was based on a lie. And she doesn't know if things can be fixed between them. Well, Usman, it looks like your green card is going bye-bye. Now, how do you feel about this? Does Kimberly have a right to be mad or not? After their fight about this whole Zara thing, Kimberly texted Usman to tell him that she doesn't trust him anymore and she wants to end things.
I am angry, honestly. Here I thought I was doing the right thing. So I am returning the gift she gave to me because I didn't agree with her behavior.
What do you want?
Use my stuff.
No, I don't want this stuff. I don't have any room for it to take out. I want it.
How can you go back to me like that?
I'll take the laptop, though.
Usman said at least if she doesn't give him respect for anything, then at least give him respect that he always tried to make her happy. Kimberly said this is all too much stress and she's just going back home to her regular life. He then said to her, well, Kimberly, what is it that you've asked me to do that I've never done to please you? And she said that it's not anything, and she's not saying that he never has. And Usman said, well, why are you doing this to me?
I break up with the lady before I even start dating you. You blaming me for that? Even if you have sex before you come to this Tanzania, I can't blame you because I know that I'm not in a relationship with you. For all the time I've been talking to you, I'm not in love or relationship with you. You are my friend. You are blaming me for the relationship. I break up with the lady before you even tell me you love me. Who does that? Who?
Kimberly is feeling frustrated because Usman doesn't understand why she's upset. She's not mad at the fact that he was in a relationship because they were just friends, but she's upset at the fact that he did not tell her. She feels like when she was telling Usman that she was falling in love with him and she wasn't dating anyone else, that at that moment he should have told her that he was in a relationship. And then she would have just simply backed away. But he didn't tell her, so she feels that he was being selfish.
Part of me want to stay to work things out, but I can't stop thinking, am I repeating the same mistake I made before? My ex-wife was controlling and quick to get angry with me, and I'm seeing the same habit now in Kimbali. And I'm not going to take it that way. I'm not going to compromise for anybody. You either build me for who am I, or you just have to go.
Well, it looks like things are ending between Kimberly and Usman. That's pretty much all between them. On to Gino and Jasmine. They arrive at Jasmine's mother's house, and Gino's feeling a little bit nervous at the thought of potentially having to remove his hat. because he's so attached to it. They all greet each other and he gives the gift to the mother that he had bought for her. Cecilia, which is Jasmine's mother, said that her first impression, well, it's obviously the age gap between them. And to be honest, she didn't look too impressed with Gino at all. She also mentioned that she's very overprotective when it comes to Jasmine, and there are certain things that she wants to understand. Jasmine asked her little sister, Liz, what does she think about Gino? To which Liz said, he's nice, but then Mama had a few things to say.
¿Ah? ¿Por qué no tiene hijo a su edad? My mom is asking why you still don't have kids.
I just never, it just didn't happen for me.
Y Jasmine, ¿tú has pensado en la edad?
When Jasmine was born, Gino was like Liz's age, and Liz is 18. But Gino doesn't feel that this is an issue because a lot of couples have a big age gap. Mama was like, and she asked Jasmine the same thing. Jasmine explained that even though Gino is a little older, he's a nice man and he loves her. Again, the mom was like, Gino found the question kind of awkward because Jasmine's mother is like 1 or 2 years older than he is. The food is ready and everybody is seated. Jasmine decides to tell her mother about Gino's hat.
Okay.
Gino se siente incómodo quitándose el sombrero para orar.
I have some concerns about Jasmine's mom liking me, but I'm just not comfortable taking my hat off.
He feels like things are stacking up against him, and he doesn't know if he's going to get Cecilia's blessing tonight. Cecilia then said, well, if you're happy doing this, then it's okay. I really didn't think she was going to say that, just given the, the look on her face. So Gino was able to keep his hat on while at the table. The mother said the prayer and they started to eat. Gino decided to ask the mother if Jasmine had a lot of boyfriends while growing up. To which the mother said no with a straight face. Gino said, well, Jasmine's so beautiful that he would have thought that a lot of boys would be chasing after her. Mama said no because she was a teen and she pretty much ran the show. So Jasmine was not allowed to have any boyfriends. They wrap up with eating and then decide to sit on the couch and take a look at a photo album. Jasmine's like, why are you doing this? This is embarrassing, looking at her baby pictures. And the mom said, it's memories. After reminiscing, Gino had something to say.
Okay, so, I wanted to ask something. Yeah, I love Jasmine. I wanted to get your blessing before I propose to Jasmine.
Cecilia said to Jasmine, so what, you want to go to another country? And Jasmine said, yes. Gino wants something serious and he's a committed man. And the mom said, well, if that's your decision. She's worried that Jasmine will go to the US because it will be a totally different world to her. And of course, the fear of the relationship not working out, and then Jasmine's going to be left there alone. But she can tell on Jasmine's face that she's very happy. And she does deserve to be happy.
Ya veo que está tan decidida, pero Gino, yo adoro a esta chiquilla. Te lleva mi tesoro. Entonces, me la hagas muy feliz.
I will take care of her.
Dice que sí, mami. Okay.
And Jasmine is feeling quite relieved now that her mother approves of their relationship. But at the same time, her and Gino just went through a trying time. So maybe it's too soon for him to propose to her. And that makes her kind of nervous. The next day after getting Cecilia's blessing, Gino is feeling good. He feels like a huge weight has been lifted off of his shoulders. He feels a lot of excitement and energy.
Like killing ants. Kill the ants, baby.
Okay, wait.
Look. Lose your body. Just feel
I'm
this.
trying to.
Baby, you're dancing like you have a stick on your arm. Just move. Gino is the worst dancer ever. Turn around.
What do you mean?
Turn around because I'm turning around and you're like a stick.
An hour later, Gino decides to talk to his brother Tony because he only has a week left and he really wants to propose to Jasmine soon. It's all exciting, but it's a really big step. So he wants to go through the proposal plans with his brother and get things straight in his mind. He fills his brother in on the situation with the nude pics. His brother was like, well, that's not a good thing. And then Gino tells him that he's planning on proposing to Jasmine. And Tony said, well, it hasn't been a long period of time, and mentions that once he brings Jasmine to America, there's no turning back. Gino said no relationship is perfect, but they need to be looking forward and not in the past. He understands his brother's concerns, but he loves Jasmine and wants to marry her, so it's worth the risk. That's pretty much all between Gino and Jasmine. I'm curious to see if he's going to propose and what Jasmine is going to say. On to Memphis and Hamza. Even though Hamza was understanding as to why Memphis stayed at her ex-husband's house, things are still a little shaky between them. Now, because of the language barrier, it's a bit difficult for Memphis to explain some things to Hamza. And because of that, she thought that it would be a great idea to have a conversation but have a translator involved. Because if they can't communicate, she doesn't know how they will overcome this issue. Hamza feels that the translator will help with the questions and doubts that he has with Memphis because he feels that she still may be in a relationship with her ex. But at the same time, he's worried that something like this can ruin things between them. They meet with the translator to discuss things.
He's saying that you've spoken about your being by your ex, and he saw this abnormal for him. He's not used to your culture. That a girl goes to sit with her ex 4 days in a house. So he said he's...
Hamza is worried that one day they get into an argument and Memphis will go off to her ex-husband for 4 or 5 days, like she did the last time. Memphis reassures him that she would not do that. Hamza said that while her and the ex are still talking through text messages, it must mean that the relationship is still continuing. And Memphis says, well, they have to keep in contact.
We have to have a conversation about our children.
Why you are shouting, he says.
Because he does not understand.
Slowly, he said.
I have to have a relationship with the father of my children.
حسيت منفس معناها نقولوا حكي كلمة تين خوات ما تحبهمش يعني حسيت تعيط شوية في الوجه فأنا الحاجة دي ما نحبهمش.
Memphis said to Hamza, so you don't like when I yell? Well, I hate to break it to you, girl. Nobody likes to be yelled at, and we don't want to hear it. Memphis does know that she has a very strong personality and can get angry very easily, and knows that she needs to be a little bit more understanding and patient, and that's something that she's going to work on. Well, that's good. At least she could admit what she's doing wrong and wants to work on it. She wants Hamza to know how much she's doing for the relationship in terms of bringing him to America. She's going against her family and even some friends because they don't believe in Hamza and they don't think that he's a good person and that he's just using her. But she still wants to marry him because she loves him and feels that he loves her too. At this point, Memphis starts to get emotional and Hamza got up and gave her a hug and a kiss. Aw, he's just so sweet. And she did appreciate the gesture. It felt good to clear the air, and Memphis hopes that going forward they can communicate with each other. And they're gonna have to learn how to do so by themselves because a translator is not going to be present every time they have a problem. The conversation ended and both were happy. I'm glad that it ended on a positive note. After speaking with the translator, Hamza felt much closer to Memphis, so he decided to take her to a historical, romantic place and has a surprise for her.
Baby, you are my happiness. You want to marry me?
Do I? I don't know. Do I?
Yes.
Do you trust me?
Yes.
You trust me about everything?
Yes.
Okay, I'll marry you. Oh, and it's blinging. Okay, yes, I will marry you.
Memphis and Hamza have been engaged online for quite some time, but he wanted to propose to her in person. Despite the problems that they may have had, Hamza wanted to prove to her that he was serious about the relationship, and all of the doubts that he had have been resolved. He then said that Memphis has a great soul and she has her own way and a very strong personality, but these are reasons why he loves her. And that's pretty much all between Memphis and Hamza. I hope going forward that they do communicate better, because communication is key. And that concludes my recap. Overall, it was an alright episode. I'm curious to see if it's truly over between Kimberly and Usman. We know how she is. I'm also curious to see if Mike is gonna skedaddle out of there and go back home, as he should. And will Gino propose to Jasmine? Do y'all think that's a good idea? Let me know your thoughts on the episode. I love to pin one of your comments. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my recap. Thanks for watching, my beautiful peeps, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!